name. Golden girl, sex and celebrities, talking Philly radio legend. Go Hollywood and Philly, got it locked down.
It's all over your box, baby, and I'm here tonight to talk all about it. Yep. I'm talking about Will Smith, and you see the sign right there, loud, front and center. I stand with Will. It is what it is. I have no qualms about it. That's fact. I stand with Will. I come tonight, I'm talking about it, and I want to Hollywood and how the Hollywood machine is working right now. Let me tell you, whether or not you think that Will Smith was right, wrong, or indifferent, I'm going to tell you tonight, in my opinion, regardless of whether or not you think he was right, wrong, or indifferent, the fallout that's coming behind it is so racist and so Hollywood that it really doesn't make any sense. We've seen this happen so many times over and over again, but I'm going to get into it tonight, and I'm going to put it like this. I'm going to let this man right here speak. Piers Morgan, I'm going to let him speak to it because what he says right now is exactly what it is in Hollywood. And I might just let you hear it 2 or 3 times so you really understand just a small portion of what's going on.
I wrote a column initially in which I said you can kind of feel sorry for both people here because I thought Chris Rock was magnificent the way he held his composure. But then it came down to me to whether he did that joke deliberately knowing that Will Smith's wife suffers from quite a nasty medical condition called alopecia. If he did, then that was cruel and unnecessary, and I understand why
and not funny.
And not funny, and I'd understand why any husband might overreact. He says he didn't know, in which case he's an innocent victim. I think in Will Smith's case, he lost his head. We all know that. What struck me generally about the night was just, as so often with Hollywood, the extraordinary depths of hypocrisy that they all sank to. So right now, they're all pretending to have been horrified by what they witnessed. This was disgraceful. It stained the great reputation of Hollywood and the Academy Awards. Really? Because on the night, after he slapped Chris Rock on stage and swore at him from the audience, I seem to remember him then getting one of the top awards half an hour later and receiving a standing ovation and then going to all the parties and partying like he was the most popular guy in town. So I'm not sure that your level of disapproval quite reflected itself in the standing ovation. Right. And then you remember what happened when Roman Polanski was literally convicted of being a pedophile. What happened? The Academy, with its great morality, gave him an Oscar, and Meryl Streep led the standing ovation. So spare me the fake morality of these Hollywood hypocrites.
Period. Like, that's it. Spare me too. I'm not trying to hear none of it because that's what Hollywood do. Pick and choose. The Roman Polanski story, he just told you about it. You can Google it yourself. And so you had all of the, Hollywood elite behind this man for years. He ran from the law for years. They protected him. Will Smith just smacked someone, and whomever and anyone who continues to go around and like I keep seeing it everywhere, there's never a reason for violence. That doesn't even make sense. Like, that doesn't even make sense. That's just not real. There's never a reason for violence. Like, I don't condone violence. But we're not going to sit here and say there is never a reason for violence. Like, that's just not reality. There is always something or a reason or something that can trigger someone to violence. Doesn't mean it's right or wrong, but to say there's never a reason for violence, there are some reasons there are for violence. Like when someone does something to your child, someone does something to your wife. Yeah, you may want to handle it in a certain way, but depending on the circumstances, and those circumstances led to Will Smith doing what he felt was necessary in that moment in time for his wife. Now, let me just say this. Right now, we know on the 18th of this month is when the Academy will decide whatever it is that they will decide to do, to Will as far as for punishment. I feel like when they say these types of things, like everybody has to suffer consequences for whatever it is that they do. If you do something, there's a consequence to be suffered for sure. But when they speak about it, about Will, and in this moment, I'm going to say Kanye too, because the Grammys was just on Sunday, just yesterday, and he wasn't there. And like, when I looked at it, and I'm talking about Will Smith, but I'm just mentioning about Kanye. When I looked online, and they talked about it a few weeks ago, but it literally says that he was, canceled from the Grammys for bad online behavior. The article says bad online behavior. And in Will Smith's case, it's Will Smith he did the smack of the century and so forth. And they acting like Will is not human. And I'm saying that when it comes down to Black men in Hollywood, and, Kanye is Hollywood, regardless of what, he's married to one of the biggest women in Hollywood, and she is controlling the narrative of what's going on. So I just use that example to say, when it comes to our Black men, it's always we trying to take you down. We're going to take this from you. You never can be in control of the situation yourself to a certain extent. And I say that because how can you say someone's online behavior is the reason why you take Kanye out the Grammys? All right, now Will Smith has quite a few movies that are lined up, quite a few. All right, and they're still going to come out. So, but right now, Netflix has decided to stop production on one of the movies that they're doing. Okay, they put it to the back burner, as they say. But as soon as this blows over, and it will, like, the bottom line is it will blow over. I stand with Will Smith. And although Netflix and Sony has decided to push back production on their movies, the movies are going to come out. Will is still going to do Will and be Will and end up on top of this thing, because he wasn't necessarily wrong for what he did. Ask yourself the question, if your family, if this was, and I'm talking to you, like your family, if the same situation that happened in your home at Thanksgiving dinner or whatever, and and a family member got up and slapped somebody else for disrespecting the wife, you wouldn't be all online talking about, oh my God, it was just that the stage that they were on, that's like the biggest stage, yes, for Hollywood, for movie night and everything. But when your emotions, and when somebody does something to you, it doesn't matter what stage you're on. If you have to react, that reaction is going to take place right then and there in the moment. And so, yeah, Chris Rock knew exactly what he was doing. Like, I'm sorry, I can't agree with anyone. I don't believe any of that. All right. And I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. But right now, I just want to tell y'all that not only do I believe and I know that Will be okay. Of course, he resigned from the Academy. They still are going to make their decision. That's when I say it makes it feel like we still under their control. We're still slaves to a point. They have to still decide what they're going to do as a punishment, as if what's going on isn't enough. The Hollywood machine is at work. You got all these E-class, they're not even A, B, C, or D, E-class celebrities that are just coming out to say anything because the media is looking for anybody that will bash Will, especially Black people. They're looking for that. So yeah, they're putting anybody on, old, ain't been out in years, so forth and so on. Of course, the white people are right there. You got Jim Carrey. He started it off. People don't know the reason why he jumped up first is because he was pissed off. He was thrown out of the Golden Globe Award several years back. He was escorted out. It was live on TV. The police took him out and everything, and he was embarrassed and he was mad. So that's why he jumped up first to speak about Will Smith, because he was mad that the same thing didn't happen to Will that happened to him. He deserved it. And then let's not even talk about the Oscars. Like I said in a previous live, Jim Carrey has such a dark, he just a dark dude at this point. So, all of these people that are coming out against Will Smith is just unbelievable, like a lot of haters. And so one of the other people that I want to talk about is, and I mentioned her before, is Zoe. Like Zoe, the Kravitz, like she is another one. She's been talking now, she's getting a lot of, backlash and everything is coming toward her because she spoke bad about Will, and everybody saw videos before when she was running around with Jaden. And if you didn't see it, of course, I'd love to show it to you right in this moment.
Out tonight.
Oh my gosh.
Will be really passionate. Jaden! Sorry. Ah!
There you are. Great. Perfect.
You made
I've been
it.
looking for you for the past
I
forever.
dragged him out tonight.
Oh my gosh.
He dragged you? This is my date.
Oh my gosh, I've been looking for you for 45 minutes
Don't leave.
casually.
I want to. Hey, just don't
Okay,
leave.
yes.
Don't leave.
I'm-
Hang on. Tell her how amazing she looks. Tell me how.
You look like something that you would find in like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. Like, wow.
Keep him around. Don't leave. Sorry, that's like my love of my life.
What did he say you look like? He
Willy
said
Wonka is something Willy Wonka should have. That's what like a 16-year-old says to you as a compliment. It's great. What was I saying? I don't
he's
know
your
what I was
date for
saying.
tonight.
Yes, I dragged him out. I texted him and I said you have to come, so he did. I love him.
Yeah, wow. She said, I love him. At 16 years old, Jaden was making her forget what she even was thinking about. She had to drag him out. He didn't want to come. Whatever. At the end of the day, she was 26 at that time. And so, she came out swinging, basically. Because if you come out and you're saying something against Will, you're basically swinging. You know what I'm saying? And she came out swinging, and everybody got on her and basically said, we remember that you did this. So go sit down. And you're running around right now with Alexander Wang, who is being charged with assault of some employees, as well as physical assault, as well as some sexual assault. So she's running around with somebody that's being accused of all of that right now, but she's on a back door, posting pictures and talking about, she couldn't believe whatever she said, quote unquote, she couldn't believe what Will Smith did or something or other. Whatever she said, she was just being fake in Hollywood and running with the machine. And that's my whole point. It's a lot of people that's just running with the machine. I ran across a young lady earlier today. Someone sent it to me, and she basically did a really, I think it is absolutely awesome rap. And she's talking about Will Smith, Black women, and you need to hear it.
Valuable than a man's wife. You say protect black women, but he ain't do it right. So now there's rules. I'm Dr. Seuss. The place is always right. On a stage, at the school, at the job, in a pool. You think it's just about a joke, then you need better sight. There's people fed up. Enough's enough. It's on sight. Will been clean his whole career, been taking jabs left and right, kept it moving, kept it tight. You want to keep him meek and nice? Nah. Protection is not just from physical harm. It's mental, psychological. Yes, sound the alarm, cause y'all gonna stop playing so much. You don't know what people going through. You want black love? As long as it's not radical. Chris Rock been off cold for a while. When black people boycott, he laughs at us. Wow, and all these hypotheticals, y'all reach and let it go. Yes, dignity's worth a fight. Love will make you go to blows. You watch slap after slap on Real Housewives, but let a man stand for his wife. Now you traumatized. They're trying to make Will Smith the face of violence, but mention Breonna Taylor's killers and it's silence.
Hey, that right there, that hit real hard. What else can you say? Mention Brianna, they get real silent. They got time to talk about Will Smith. Listen, I'm telling you right now, Will Smith, just like Whoopi Goldberg said, and Whoopi Goldberg she's the head of one of the heads of the board at the Academy. And she said, she put a statement out, said, Will Smith, he'll be fine. She's in those meetings. She's, she's privy to what's being said. And, I believe that too. So I'm just saying, right now, I want to take you to, Chris Rock is really coming up off of the whole ordeal. But like I said, Chris Rock hadn't been popping in years. When was the last time that we really saw Chris Rock do anything that we was feeling? I'm not even just saying it like that. I'm just being real serious about it. Shout out to everybody that's on here too. Shoot this live out. People went to see Chris Rock this weekend, and I didn't go see him. I just want you to hear what they had to say.
It was fun. Everyone was
Nicer than I am.
No, he alluded to.
Wait, what, you want your money back?
We want our money back. Of course we want our money back. Who's paying $400 to see Chris Rock in 2022? Can we all say that honestly?
These people paid money. He paid $400. He pissed. I saw online where people were paying $1,200, $1,500. The tickets went sky high. I saw that. I'm like, yo, these people about to get ganked for that money, because Like, no, Chris Rock, he was funny to me years ago, but he ain't been funny in a long time. No matter what happened, the bottom line is Cats is coming up. Everybody's trying to make it come up. Every cornball comedian that you never heard of, everybody in Hollywood, you have no idea. Like everybody has just got a whole Will Smith routine, and it's just really corny. To be totally honest, it's real corny because there's so much other stuff and content. I'm like, I do comedy. Y'all ain't got no comedy. Y'all jumping on the same thing. Y'all crazy. Let me take you to Tiffany Haddish because she said something, and I felt like what Tiffany said, they all already know, but she reminded them. Let me just, I mean.
Do you know, like that joke that Chris did? I remember when that movie came out, and that was a way to insult a woman, her sexuality, her physique. It was a way to call a woman a homosexual, basically. And she's sitting right next to her. It was like that. I remember that in school. That they would do that to people. You know, it's kind of messed up.
It's really messed up. I mean, like at the end of the day, it was messed up, and it was all that. It wasn't A, B, or C. It was all of that. Everything that Chris Rock did, it was calculated. He knew that. He knows that when that movie came out, you understand? That's what dudes and other girls was calling girls in school or in college or wherever you were in that time and space. That movie was out a long time ago. Most of the people in Generation Z never even saw the movie. You know what I'm saying? But that movie was like, we all thought in the moment when the movie came out, everybody was like, oh, they got Demi Moore, she looking like a dyke in the movie. And that's what people were saying. Back then, that's what people would say. People was calling people dykes. So they was like, oh, everybody was like, oh my God, yeah. And he knew this. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just letting people know that I do stand with Will Smith. It's a lot of stuff that's going around, but when you're trying to take down, like, that's family right there for me. And when you're trying to take down our folk, like, I'm right here. I'm gonna be talking about it. Shout outs to everybody that's on this live. Shoot this live out. I'm here on this podcast. And I popped up a little tonight, and I'm popping up tomorrow night at 7:00. I got a lot of people that I basically want to flame. I ain't even gonna hold you. Like, I'm flaming some of these people. When you see some of the stuff that people have said and some of the stuff that they're doing, like, it doesn't compare. These people have no need to talk about anybody. And I'm checking, and I'm like, yo, I got a whole lineup of people to flame. I'm gonna come back tomorrow and I'm gonna definitely do that. But before I go, all right, I just want to say a couple of these people that just straight up, they just need to shut up. I saw Plies. Oh my God, like, I see all the E-listers. It's just crazy. Some of the people, Stephen A. Smith, like Bill Maher, like all these different people jumping on a bandwagon. Now you know these are the people that were cold haters. You got white people, you got black people that's licking these white people ass, and that's what they doing too. Like, they straight up hating, trying to get, like, and I say this, like, I seen Lunel, I mean, she was like talking out the side of her neck because she was like, well, I don't really want to say, but she was really talking, and her and the girl Claudia, and you ain't even getting invited. Like, I'm not even trying to be smart, but these people aren't even getting invited to the Oscars. The people, the E-listers that are talking, not just her, the girl Claudia, she ain't even in the E-list. Like, but the people that are talking, they're not even anywhere near getting to an Oscar, and they're acting like Hollywood all day. Like, oh no, this is Hollywood. You can't do that. You can't go up on the stage. I'm like, no, this is real life. This is not iRobot. You know what I'm saying? Will Smith is human, just like everybody else. We all have emotions and everything. And if you are, I got to say it, like, you from Philly. Yeah, we are from Philly. He is, I am. And Will been cool for years, allowing people to just say stuff. And I know people are like, well, there's other people that have said stuff too. But that was right in front of his face, in front of his wife's face, in front of a national audience on a night that he was to be honored, not to be degraded by Chris Rock, who did that intentionally. He is a very intentional dude. I met Chris Rock several times. I've met him several times over the years, and every time that I met him, he was a disappointment. And he was a disappointment because I really was a fan of Chris Rock's, and the disappointment came in because he has like some sort of I don't know what it is, but he's very standoffish. He had like an attitude with everyone, and it seemed like he thought he was some type of king or something. I don't like I'm not for celebrities acting like they larger than life and all that. So it didn't go over well with me or any of the rest of the executives who were in there at the time. Everybody was just like done, like, all right, let's get over this, get over with this show and this promo and everything and be done with him. But let me just say this, I see a few comments up here. Let me post up and see what you're talking about. Somebody say he's been getting robbed for years. Oh yeah, he has this really, and it's weird. That is true. He mentioned it, it's fact. One thing is he definitely had this scary thing about him all the time. Like he got this, that's one of the things it was. He was acting like everybody was supposed to like, I don't know, like bow down to him. I'm not sure what it is, but it was something weird going on. And I'm not with the weird stuff. So he turned me off a lot when I first met him. Like I said, I met him a few times. And, at that time he was funny, but he was, and people are very different before they go on stage and stuff. But no, this dude act funny every time. And a lot of people in the industry say the same thing. He gets along well with the white people that he has learned to kiss ass well and get what he's doing. So let me just do this. I'm going to tell you this. I'll be back tomorrow. But before I roll up out of here, I definitely want to let you know that I stand with Will Smith. I'm going to stand with Will Smith. I'm going to play this girl right here one more again because I like this rap. Like she really put it in perspective. You know what I'm saying? Go follow her.
No trophy more valuable than a man's wife. You say protect black women, but he ain't do it right. So now there's rules. I'm Dr. Seuss. The place is always right. On a stage, at the school, at the job, in a pool. You think it's just about a joke? Then you need better sight. There's people fed up. Enough's enough. It's on sight. Will been clean his whole career. Been taking jabs left and right. Kept it moving, kept it tight. You want to keep him meek and nice? Nah. Protection is not just from physical harm. It's mental, psychological. Yes, sound the alarm. Cause y'all gonna stop playing so much. You don't know what people going through. You want black love, as long as it's not radical. Chris Rock been off cold for a while. When black people boycott, he laughs at us. Wow, and all these hypotheticals, y'all reach and let it go. Yes, dignity's worth a fight. Love will make you go to blows. You watch slap after slap on Real Housewives, but let a man stand for his wife. Now you traumatized. They trying to make Will Smith the face of violence, but mention Breonna Taylor's killers, and it's silence.
Golden Girl is definitely all over your box, and it really doesn't matter what anybody says or thinks. You know what you know when you know it, and I know that was totally a Hollywood setup. And when I say that, I mean it, because this is what Hollywood does. Chris Rock is lying when he tells the story to someone who released a statement that he did not know about Jada Pinkett's alopecia. I know it's a lot. Look, let me tell you how Hollywood works. Okay, you're going into the award show, and even if he didn't know, the first thing when he saw them, he would have asked anybody in the room, what's going on with Jada Pinkett? Why is her hair cut? Or anything, anybody in the room would have clearly told him. And there is no way you can tell me that he wrote the joke, all right, and had no knowledge about it at all. Even if he didn't have any knowledge about it, he Googled it. I wonder why Jada's hair's cut. Or is this just her style? Whatever it was, he asked somebody or he knew. He in Hollywood too. Like he is a part of the machine. Chris Rock is the same Chris Rock that when everybody else was boycotting the Oscars, he was laughing about it. He was the one that was still rocking with the Oscars. He is the whitest black man in Hollywood. Yes, it's him. Undercover and everything. Just when I say undercover, I mean undercover when he gets I ain't talking about sexual preference or nothing like that. I'm talking about when he has gotten on stage and spoke about white people and this, that, and the third. But behind and backstage, he is licking their ass. And that's why he hosts the Oscars. Like, think about it. Why has Chris Rock been hosting the Oscars and he hasn't even been hot as a comedian in years? If you ask me, I tell you, he ought to thank Will Smith. Yeah, he ought to thank Will Smith because the rest of the world knew nothing about Chris Rock. Yeah, let's just be, I'm just going to be straight up. Let's just be point blank about it. The rest of the world learned about Chris Rock. Okay, they didn't even pay him any attention in the years previous that he hosted the Oscars. They were looking and wondering, why is this black guy hosting the Oscars? Now they have a reason to associate, okay, he's now the guy who Will Smith, known worldwide, who he smacked. And I say that not like it was a good thing or whatever. It was what Will felt as though needed to happen in the time. I don't have to try to speak for Will. He spoke for himself. He gave his own apology. He said what he wanted to say about what happened. So that's what I accept. Like I said, I stand with Will. I know for myself, Chris Rock knew very well. It was totally intentional. Nothing happens by chance or surprise in Hollywood. The thing that was a surprise was that they got Will to react. You understand? I mean, go face it. Like, you're sitting in the front row. You know that people are throwing jokes and this, that, and the third. Okay, all right. But when you go and start talking about black women's hair, period, and you've done a whole movie about black women's hair, and you traveled the world, and he talked in the movie, and his movie, Good Hair, he titled the movie, what was it called, Good Hair? Listen, at the end of the day, this dude has a complex, and it's about black women and hair. At least that's one of them. And we learned that through his movie, and so he talked and degraded black women in his movie, talking about our hair, made millions of dollars off of it. You understand? He's used the same type of comedic stuff in his act before about don't mess with a black woman and her hair and all that. He's done it for years. He has benefited off of the backs of talking about black women and our hair. And in Jada Pinkett's case, the fact that she had her hair cut off. And so, when I tell you that it was malicious, totally, and, this dude hasn't done anything. Like, I don't know, maybe he did. If he did, I don't know about it. Chris Rock hasn't done any movies that I can remember. So that goes to tell me if he did any movies, they were B, C, or D rated movies. I haven't heard of anything he's done in years. So, I'm just, but now, like I said, he can thank Will. Nobody was buying tickets to the show. You heard with I got a guy right here that will tell you he's mad. People are mad that they paid this money. They ran out and, they elevated the ticket sales in a moment's notice. This is what marketing was supposed to do. And they did their job. So they elevated it. Ticket sales is out the roof. 400, 500, 600, 700, 13, 1400, 2,000, 3,000. People are reselling tickets and everything. Astronomical fees. Show wasn't even sold out nowhere prior to the Oscars and the smack. He didn't need, he was getting regular ticket money, probably $50 or less. And realistically, this has been a win-win for him, his brother. He out there getting booked. They getting booked. They're getting booked off of the back of Will Smith. Nobody was calling Chris Rock's brother. Seriously, nobody was calling him and booking him for a show. He got booked off of the Oscars. That's why he's running around, and he's going to be trying to get booked everywhere, just like his brother, and the whole 9 yards. So, as far as I'm concerned, people can look at it any kind of way they want to. I know how this machine works in Hollywood. I can tell you that Will is going to be fine. Will's got a lot of movies that they're putting on hold. That's what they're doing. They're putting them on hold. and they will eventually come out, period. I stand with Will Smith.
I wrote a column initially in which I said you can kind of feel sorry for both people here, because I thought Chris Rock was magnificent the way he held his composure. But then it came down to me to whether he did that joke deliberately knowing that Will Smith's wife suffers from quite a nasty medical condition called alopecia. If he did, then that was cruel and unnecessary, and I understand why
and not funny.
And not funny, and I'd understand why any husband might overreact. He says he didn't know, in which case he's an innocent victim. I think in Will Smith's case, he lost his head. We all know that. What struck me generally about the night was just, as so often with Hollywood, the extraordinary depths of hypocrisy that they all sank to. So right now, they're all pretending to have been horrified by what they witnessed. This was disgraceful. It stained the great reputation of Hollywood and the Academy Awards. Really? Because on the night, after he slapped Chris Rock on stage and swore at him from the audience, I seem to remember him then getting one of the top awards half an hour later and receiving a standing ovation, and then going to all the parties and partying like he was the most popular guy in town. So I'm not sure that your level of disapproval quite reflected itself in the standing ovation. Right. And then you remember what happened when Roman Polanski was literally convicted of being a pedophile. What happened? The Academy, with its great morality, gave him an Oscar, and Meryl Streep led the standing ovation. So spare me the fake morality of these Hollywood hypocrites.
Golden girl, I'd like to go there. You heard me?